Welcome to Mint Views. Today we will talk about Twitter's new advertising policy. The Chief Executive Officer of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, has just announced that Twitter has decided to stop all political advertising globally. The reach of a message that's political, he believes, needs to be earned and not bought. By earned, he means these messages should basically propagate themselves through retweets. They should go viral. People should not be buying these messages. The basic purpose for this, he believes, is that there's a lot of misinformation in the world, and he doesn't want to participate in that kind of thing. Is this good? Is this fair? Is this an interesting policy? Do we support it? That's what we'll talk about. Srija, what do you think about this?
I would definitely give a thumbs up to Dorsey's policy because, as you see, he's talked about how there are challenges to the entire civic discourse. So when you have aspects of misinformation or micro-targeting, it's targeted at specific audiences, then it definitely defeats the purpose of spreading your message across. And interestingly, Cortesio at a congressional hearing asked Zuckerberg, would you allow a political advertisement which states that it was the Republicans, not the Democrats, who curated the Green New Deal? So Zuckerberg, after some time, was at a loss for words in the first instance, but then he said probably, which makes you feel scared about the ramifications of what this misinformation could actually have for the people.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dorsey's point is that political advertising affects millions of lives of people, while commercial advertising is okay, it doesn't affect so much people. But all advertising basically is sponsored material. It's been bought. So why make a distinction? Isn't that a question? What do you think, Anand?
That is a point to make, a valid argument. But when social media has such a huge influence on the people, and particularly they have gained importance during elections. We've seen what happened in the US, even in India. Social media is being used as an important tool to influence public opinion. At that point of time, you have to take a second look at what exactly is going on. So I don't, principally you might be right that, at the end of the day, these are ads and they're being disclosed. But are people actually able to understand that this is an advertisement and not a straight statement of fact? So maybe the audience at this point of time is not smart enough to understand these nuances. That's why we need to be a little cautious about giving such advertisements. So if he's doing something like this, I don't think it should be outrightly dismissed.
But does he expect everyone in the media, all kinds of platforms, to basically ban political ads? Would that even be fair? That's the question. Srijay, what do you think?
In principle, I disagree with policy that allows a media company to sell space for commercial advertisements, but shuts out political advertisements. This, in essence, actually infantilizes audience. Audiences can see an ad for what it is. So let them make their own judgment calls. Ads will have, like any other political ads, like commercial ads, will have exaggerations. But the audience is quite smart. We should trust them.
Freedom of speech an issue here? I think one of the criticisms against this company is that this actually curbs freedom of speech. Dorsey, of course, has an answer to that. He says this is not about free expression, it's about paying for reach, which he thinks is kind of bad. Is he trying to draw a distinction between social media as a different animal from the kind of rest of media we have? What do you think, Srija?
If you look at Facebook's user base in India, if I talk in Indian context, it has around 240 million users currently, which is actually a million higher than what the US has. So it tells you interestingly, if a proliferation to social media could be instrumentalized or could be used as a weapon to such a great extent because of the sheer number of users that you have on social media. So definitely things which get propagated or which get disseminated through social media have a much wider reach as opposed to traditional media.
Interestingly, I think within the social media also, the share of advertisements is not really balanced with all social media firms getting the same amount of advertisement.
Yeah. It's more convenient apparently for Jack Dorsey to ban political advertising. We have some figures here sourced from a fairly reliable source which say that Facebook from May 2018 till now, for political ads in the United States, drew $870 million in advertising money, while Twitter, for the same period, drew only $3 million. That's a huge gap. So naturally, sitting at the Congressional Committee, Mark Zuckerberg would say, no, well, we'll accept these ads. As Jack Dorsey says, can afford to take a moral high ground here and say that something is fishy about these ads, we don't want to carry them. But in general, it's a very interesting move that Jack Dorsey has made, and we should support all efforts made by anybody in social media to clamp down on misinformation. That's a key objective for everybody. Thank you.